So we are back with Dangnaronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. This is probably part 14. Yeah, this is part 14. So yeah, I haven't done a video in like 2 days, so I'm going to be doing the trial this time with I believe it's the trial. Yeah. Boom. So let's start the trial, chapter 3. Yep. To find out who the murderer is. Everyone thinks it's this fuzzy hair guy, but I have a suspicion that he's been framed. But if he's been framed, then why everyone was with us besides Kyoko? And I don't want it to be Kyoko.
Monokuma appears.
2 Monokumas. He's multiplied.
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks like there was an evolution. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I have multiplied. Can you guys tell which one of us is the real Monokuma?
Whew.
Can we just get onto the elevator already?
Boy.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay. Hey! Hey!
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please.
Hold on. I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, Hyro. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already. I didn't do it for serious. That reminds me. Did you ever find the other costume or the note? Well, no, but... How unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey.
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first, then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. The one who killed Afumi and Taka, the one who killed 2 of our friends. The killer is... someone right here. It's you, Byakuya, isn't it? I took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk to the elevator. Once everyone was on board, we lowered down. Less and less people. Oh, excuse me. Bless me. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. Oh. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator doors slide open, opening up to a cruel fate. Oh, he's changed the room a bit. I realised just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
It's just the worst.
Only because of you. Why? Why are you making us do cruel things to each other?
What?
What? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed Clash trial this commercial break. I never hold on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get your assigned seats. There's going to be a lot of corpses roaming around. Well, what's it? Them X-pines on the faces around the circle. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fail, a deadly crash trial. Yeah, I mean, let's save this one. Alright, let's set skills. I have one new skill. Steadies your aim a little effective during non-stop debate. I believe I only have 3 skills, don't I? Yeah. Okay, open. I think we're good. Trial. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
That's coming from a murderer.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Harry really the killer, or for anything else we have to make that clear? Yashuri's message.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Oh, the hat.
Everything we found in your room.
Okay. I guess it's because it was in his room. Oh.
Shoot!
Damn.
Everything we found in the blueprints that you are the
Oh, the blueprints. All right, that was my bad
Hiro,
then.
why?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found, the blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof
Oh,
enough that you are.
that text blocked it,
It's
didn't
not
it?
true!
Hiro, why?
No! Just hold on a second!
I've got it
Everything
this
we found,
time.
the blueprints, the suit parts.
No, that's wrong.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Ooh, Bayaki's backing him up.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course he passes it to me.
So, who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The Illuminati. Hina. I don't know. I don't know.
Shoot!
I don't know. I'm got no choice. I'm gonna say Illuminati. That's right. All working behind the scenes.
Shoot!
Yeah.
I got it!
Oh, okay then.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we
Oh,
never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What?
Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
The things that were used to move to it was that little tray thing.
I got it!
There we go. Oh, Jesus Christ, I have no idea. Let's try the blue tarp.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you
Oh
respond?
God, Baki, why didn't you
There
help
is no
me?
shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on
Hey,
around
stop
you.
being such a bitch. I know how to beat this bitch. It was a blood stain.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
Why is this bitch being so
Lies
attacative?
will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
Why is there bullets?
You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
Okay, I'm getting
So
wrecked.
pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
Yes,
I
fucking
cannot
die,
agree.
This
bitch.
should prove it.
It was her, wasn't it? She beating herself up.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Oh, she's mad.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Robo Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Ah, but you can't bend
Then
over
you
in
could
the
push
suit.
the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't
think I realize anything.
Yep, it's the fact that he didn't bend over.
As we know, and from there.
Yeah, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it.
Now, keep in mind.
Well, yeah, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, that's wrong. You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here, can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got away in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. You seem that pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Oh wait, once it's on you can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, Do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
I think I know who did it. It's her, isn't it? And she used
So long as
Hifumi.
those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question.
She killed Hifumi. She did kill Hifumi. Who was in the Robo Justice suit, though?
The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
It was Celeste, wasn't it?
and then... At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Okay. Nope. I'm very tired. Oh, it's later than I thought it was. Makado Kumo 5-3. Is this the time of death?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before or perhaps it was after?
I think it was before.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Right, so I've got to use this bullet.
I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Fuck it. No. Oh.
Shoot!
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that while Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka
I guess
came
I've got to go for order then.
So, I wonder if he, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
Okay,
It's
I
true
gotta go
that
for order.
while Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka came. So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what Taka came last.
Oh,
What
did I
makes you
miss
say?
it?
Because of the number.
It's true that while Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in.
Oh, god damn it.
Shoot!
So, I wonder if he, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were. Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that while Taka's death...
See?
I've got to steal
So
one
it's
of them.
obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding I wonder if he died before or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
Let's
What
hope.
makes
Let's
you
pray.
say that?
This works.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
There we go. That works.
No, that's wrong! Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
Wow. Wristwatch? Oh, okay, so watch. I was going for R. I know it's wristwatch. There we go.
Now I understand! I've got it! Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night, so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before
Celeste
any of
was
the other
attacked
incidents
by-
took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Unless he killed himself.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
I don't want to play CSGO.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
agree.
We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the 3rd in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move
Yep,
itself.
this is what I thought. He did it himself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another...
The gun is like the Shaggy
I
of
don't
the
think
group.
it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
Celeste ordered him to do this.
That it isn't possible.
And she killed Taka before, and that's why she was injured. The glasses. Broken wristwatch.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
And that is why.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No.
It is impossible.
Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And
Oh,
that is why the announcement was made.
I shot the thing by
Are we
mistake.
really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he was actually...
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Oh shit, I did the wrong one.
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No.
The thing is that you could use these with any of
Surely
these.
you heard the body Hifumi's dead body, and that is.
Are we really so? Maybe the
announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Shoot!
I don't know what I'm doing.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body, and that is
Okay.
why.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I think I know how to do
Are
it.
you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a
Chance he was actually still alive.
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body
Wait, I think-
Hifumi's dead body had been
Let's do this
found.
just to be sure. I think I know what it is now.
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead, and that is.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended
To signal someone else's discovery.
Yep.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body Hifumi's
Dead body had been.
Yeah, that was it.
No, that's wrong.
Got it.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
And there was.
Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement. First time it played when we found each body, the nurse office in the equipment room, and the second time was...
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies. didn't seem weird at the time. But
Wow,
it contradicts what Monokuma
he gave
just
his
told
life
us,
to
doesn't it?
Celeste.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing...
I can't wait to see how Celeste dies. Hifumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found him, and then, well, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw it was in the
But when you compare his body before being moved, and his body other than the change in how it was positioned...
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Shoot!
His glasses changed.
Well, here's one thing. The first time we found him, and then, his body disappeared.
And the next time it was in
But when you compare his body before, other than the change, there was no...
notable difference.
That's bullshit. That
No,
it should have been
it's
available for both of them. Obviously, that's
In
gonna get
fact,
me the first time.
There was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
There it is.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was... Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is...
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead... What was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of...
On the note.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear.
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Make your argument. Broken wristwatch.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
No, the broken wristwatch. That must be
But
it.
remember what the note said. What time did it say to me?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Do I shoot it at
Huffy
TikTok?
had the note, right? Then the person it was intended must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said.
So I'm gonna do it at TikTok.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
There we go.
No, that's wrong! No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
It was the... There we go, this.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is...
Yep, that same one.
I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
We have to find the murder weapon. Spotless hammer. I'm probably gonna have to steal one
What
for
was
this.
used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammer, and, that's about it.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer? Maybe Justice
I have
Hammer?
no idea.
What if there's one thing we have to figure out? How was the culprit able to move around so how did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammer.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammer. And, that's about it.
I'm guessing we use this.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer? Maybe Justice Hammer?
Well, what if there's one? How was the culprit able? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/.
Well, one thing seems...
The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice...
And, that's about it.
So if the weapons used to kill both of them were actually similar.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Wait, I want to see what it says at the end again.
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer. Check out murdergear.com.
Well, what the murder weapon and, that's about it.
Fumi was killed in the repository, right? So if the weapons used to kill both of them were actually similar. But the repository had a
What was
bunch
used to
of hammers
kill
in it.
Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer...
Well, there's one. How was the
Okay,
culprit?
I think
How
I
did
gotta
nobody
take some shots
Sounds like a Justice Hammer.
in the
Check out
dark.
murdergear.com.
Well, what the murder weapon and, that's about it.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
No.
Shoot! What was used to kill him? Was it
Justice Hammer
Got it. Oh, I'm gonna die.
shoot?
What was used? Was it just maybe Justice Hammer?
Well, what if there's one? How was the culprit? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com.
Well, what
The murder weapon had to be one of the just... And...
Took a shot in the dark.
That's about it.
Shoot!
I refuse to give up yet!
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Was it Justice? Maybe Justice.
Well, what there's one. How was the culprit?
Wait, I have
How
an
did
idea.
nobody
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com.
well, what the murder weapon and, that's about it.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
No.
Shoot! What was used to kill? Was it Justice? Maybe Justice.
Well, what there's one thing. How was the culprit? And how did nobody witness them carry?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make
Its appearance! Check out murdergear.com.
Well, one thing, the murder weapon
Weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
Oh, I don't know. It's actually a pretty tricky one. It was one of the hammers.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it
Justice Hammer. Maybe Justice.
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? And how did nobody witness them carrying it?
No.
shoot?
What was used? Was it just maybe Justice?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to check out murdergear.com.
Well, what the murder
Weapon had to be one of the And...
Oh, there we go.
No, that's wrong.
That was a
The
bit
murder
tricky.
weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But... Seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The
They didn't
killer
make that
could have
easy, did
easily
they?
used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammer, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Here we go, this is the bit where we point finger to her.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us,
Even if more than one, only the one who actually carried,
assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people
And
work
I'm taking
together
that for
on
now.
this.
That is how the rule.
But that only really applies if there's one murder. In this case, however, there were two murders.
Okay, I'll say
based
two
on the
murders
rules,
then.
even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really in this case, however, there were two
Oh
murders.
shit. I pressed. Keep thinking it's right
Based
click.
on the rules that have, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really in this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really in this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming
The rule holds true.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same, that was that was the main characteristic this time. Koka must have noticed the fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of entirely separate incidents. Koka really is amazing, although when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
I know who it is. It was Celeste.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Oh, her true colors.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
So what is this encountering?
Shoot!
Okay.
I got
There
it!
we go.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi
God, I
ever
like
laid
how he
eyes
treats
on
me
the
like a
costumed
child.
individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what? Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up. Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
That seems fake.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I imagine that Fumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but Looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Oh. They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us staying around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. Like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to steal something.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened, and they must be positive we are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to... What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I know what it was. The real question is, what do I take
All
to
I said,
do
they
it?
must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is all I.
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
There we go.
All I said, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
Just like those guys.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Oh.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to...
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to... In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is... If everything I told you was a... Simple.
Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Could it be that he was lifting him up? Hifumi is dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging sisters away. Besides, is that really possible?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous.
As you can see in the picture,
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all.
No way!
If I remember right, she said that it couldn't be bent at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out!
So,
then you just draped me across
do this.
Hifumi and had him carry my— You tried to make me look like the bad—
like I said, as you can see in the picture,
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
that's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Oh, she's been caught.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hero.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said for serious a lot. Maybe?
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well? Do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Oh, we're gonna battle her again. E-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name.
Yasuhiro, if there's one person here who...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't...
How many times do I?
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. And since you have no way to contradict me,
That's the only truth there is!
Wait, E-handbook.
Moron.
Okay, I know to shoot.
Hifumi was... He wanted us to know the killer. If there's one person...
It would have to be you, Celeste.
How many times I?
Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan to go?
I'm not pretending. And since you have no way
To contradict me?
No, that's wrong.
The E-handbook. You gotta show it us.
That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before. So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case
Okay,
again.
now I'll go put the pieces
and that'll
together.
bring... I refuse to give up yet!
Let's try the 1 o'clock one. I just want to look at these arts. Players. So he pushed it.
Here's exactly what happened.
Let's hope this works.
Before anything.
Oh, I got that wrong again. Fuck it, try this one.
The killer is you! Before anything.
Try that now.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything.
What? Maybe one of the faces of him being... And then what would be there?
Here's exactly what happened. Before...
Oh, finally, I got that one right.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
There we go, got that one right too.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did.
Yep.
We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect.
What could be there then? Oh, it's just this hammer too.
Here's exactly what happened. So for the first fake there, they want the this time with these 2 ints that the suspect was. We fell.
There we go.
While we did that, this was exactly what Hifumi was hoping. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and turned the room into a crime scene, in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back. And when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka. So when we heard the body, we left the nurse. He simply got it. When we learned his body had disappeared, and once again, Hifumi. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Oh, I like these and roses is Celeste.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Oh, complete. Finally. Get to finally see someone dies.
Lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm gonna get like a B, ain't I? Oh, I got an A. I died a lot though. Hey, 94 medallions.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Monokuma vote. It's Celeste. Once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer was devised, the whole stinking scheme was Celeste Lundenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yashiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude.
I knew it.
So he really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on specifically lying. My speciality? Don't make me laugh. I don't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use, you know... I knew you figured out Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice,
Indeed.
I used her. I'm mentioning it by name, but I was the one thing Hifumi and Taka are both super into. Does she mean... Is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt, we're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop, as usual. How sad.
In other words...
Then you're the one who stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I
And
see.
used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about it, I disappeared and paid Hifumi a little visit.
Actually,
I was hoping I could touch you alone. It was about what I stole. stolen, and I know who did it.
What?
Are you okay
It
with
was
this?
Taka. He stole it.
Yeah!
And I
So
approve.
then,
Would you like to see? At the time, I figured out I'd use for digital camera.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. Gret is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
as for
Please
me,
forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did.
as for me,
Last night, unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
What? And then he took he took pictures. He said if I didn't ask, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but
Say
I
what?
never imagined he would have gone that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something that's over in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
most
Please,
unfortunate.
if you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands.
Actually,
Taki is planning to use it to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape, you don't mean. Taki's going to try and kill you.
indeed.
And only so he can keep him to himself. Bastard.
Completely unforgivable.
Honestly,
Can we all allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? She is.
I swear I will save her!
actually,
Then would you like to join me? It just so happens I've come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what is stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Talking about... Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. What was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide his face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it.
Let's
And in
see.
the regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But why were you explaining the plan to Hifumi? How did you explain the part to him about playing dead? What he's asking is why was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you actually let him live?
Are you
That's
okay with?
simple. After he did his part, I pretended to be dead. Once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded, he was on the verge of death, and he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Of course, that wasn't all there was to it. I explained it to Fumi. The plan was, while you all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Fumi would have had an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. It just matched the lie to the level of the opponent, in fact. If Fumi ate it up, he believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
So you planned to kill him all along? But of course, there would have been no point in my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean!
Oh, now you sound like back at you.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for the money? Are you talking about the $10 million Makun offered? That is a lot of money, it is true. But that's not all there is to it. On the moment our new life it began, my only thought has been escape.
But
Saying how to get set living here.
You little
Obviously
bitch.
that was a lie.
Hey!
I can take it, I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out every day was fresh torture. And did you want to know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting the life here would have had meant nothing less than giving up on dream forever.
Honestly,
And there was no one that could ever do it. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
as for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was that dream of yours?
isn't it
To live
wonderful?
in a European castle. Castle? and together handsome men from all the world to serve as my butlers slash bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfect aesthetic world for the decadent. Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only life goal. That's what my life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to
unfortunately
be
my dream
done.
has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the
You
worst.
sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it.
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavour. I think nothing was sacrificed in others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you
That's all there
understand?
is to it to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's no simply no room for understanding. Simply.
What is
That's
this?
why we should be saying, and plus, how could you be so calm? Don't you realise you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared.
Yes,
That's right,
indeed.
I'm a fear deaf. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had the choice then,
Isn't it
I think I'd
wonderful?
like to come back as Mary Antonioniet.
Hey!
You just get excited, executed again. So I smiled then, and when she did, it looked like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. That's a statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills!
We all done
Chills!
them.
Kills!
Let's get rolling. The black and disturbed the peace. I must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything.
I
Punishment
guess I'll
time.
let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
This is.
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Oh, she's about to die. I can't wait to see her die. She's kind of getting a wish right now, though. Oh, she's being burnt to the stake like a witch. Burn her alive. Goodbye, Celeste. She's burning. Oh, firefighter. Oh. Well, that's that. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't get free of the regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna
And
do?
therefore you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw in the chest if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes, but it's the reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you going to make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, okay, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So what's the deal with that?
What?
What's the matter?
So then,
Answer the question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me? Huh?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh, how exciting.
What? Oh man, oh jeez, I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. She's cyborg. What was that just now? The last time I did something to Kaioko's body. What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys go on enjoying your school life. You get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya later.
I was all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kaioka, Monokuma, I already mentioned it, but what's the key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What does that mean? Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
Easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well, then better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed into the dressing room.
Hey,
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else heading down, I'll check with you later.
What?
What exactly are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? She spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean, why you? There's still a risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, bye, Akiyu.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm going to go get Dangnaronpa. So Makoto and Kaioka are going to go together. Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her and total pushovers. Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little something. Try to forget what he said. Everyone headed to dining hall, leaving me and Kaiko alone.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah.
So then,
We need to get into that locker. Kaiko took the keys to Celeste, giving her and unlocked the locker. The locker which we saw.
You really came.
Oh, hi all. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I never heard Kaiko sound so relieved. It's like she was speaking to the from the bottom of my heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. And I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best. Please just wait a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as the incident's concerned, sure, but can we take a second since this opportunity I want you to be honest with me? Kaiko, please tell me. What are you trying to do on your own here at the school?
you...
Is that why you wanted to come with me?
However...
Regardless, that's something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation. This time you disappeared and we didn't even see you. Without warning, without explanation. When you did that?
Indeed.
It's only natural that you think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too? No? I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't that obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I wanted you to tell me. I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
And maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then,
That's fine.
fine. I'll tell you. I'll tell you where I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kirko well, frankly, kind of blew my mind. Right after I'd told Kirko, I believed. She told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided to confirm what she told me with my own two eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come, and when I did, I went to action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the second floor doesn't have a surveillance camera monitoring it. And there's a storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom, so but could Kerika be right about this? God damn, now I have to check. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. The secret Kerika told me about, could it really be hidden here? Oh. Same time I heard the sound and I fell through the wall. No, what was going on. Boom. Falling through the back of a storage closet. Huh? It turned out the back wall was like a revolving door. I made my way to the other side, just like Kerika said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom, there's a storage closet. On the back of that closet, there's a secret room. Ooh. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? Books. Bunch of files on books like volume had fallen in the yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at every one file on the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Student registry. This is the only one that's not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? Slip file in my hand. Before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip paper found turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. Couldn't understand. I can't leave. You must not leave. What is this? My head feels funny. Strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? Whoa! A strange sound rang through my head. Felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. Don't understand what's happening. Don't know what started it, but it's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I don't know how long I'd been. Ugh. Ow. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness, that's all I understood. The dull throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. And now all the files are missing. An empty bookshelf. Empty? Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks in the registry and even the note that had fallen on the floor. All gone. What does that mean? Oh, my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. Somehow, I made it back to the first floor in school. Ugh. The farther I walked, the more I felt things getting blurry. I could see in front of me. I could tell from that right there. And after that, huh? In front of me, vast didn't I heard a sound. Faint but undeniable. That sound was coming from the gym. What's going on? Can't be nothing here in the gym. I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sounds coming from inside me were only intensified that much more. Kakabakyu. Hi, Pachi. Bakaya. Dandan Sushashi. Oh, sugar. Before me there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No, one side's not human, that's for sure. Regardless, I couldn't stop staring. Forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
It was Sakura that was the spy.
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat. No longer compromise. No longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be? The mastermind spy is... Oh. Surviving students down to 7. To be continued. Got an item, Super Robo Justice. Yes. Leon killed Sayaka. Monokuma killed Junko. Then Leon got executed. Shihiro was killed. Yeah, we get it. These are the executed. The next morning in the dining hall, the day after Celesta's case. So now there's only 5 of us here. Only a third of the number of people we started with.
Indeed.
Loneliness has become commonplace. That's true. Still. What did I see yesterday? I don't understand. Sakura is the mastermind spy. Can that really be true? Kodo, are you okay? No, I'm fine. I can't bring it up in front of the others. If I did that, I would just confuse everyone that much more.
Okay.
Then let's eat till we pass out. Huh? What do you mean in that case? Because how scary everyone looks, it's got to be because you're fighting and stomach's right. If you're big, I'm sure you'll cheer up, but let's eat.
Okay.
What?
That's like deep impact style, meteor impact, extinction level, event combination of food.
Huh?
Those are breakfast time hot sellers. Still, till we can't stand up, part is the problem. After we're all done, we need to go explore.
I see.
That's right, since the Clash Trials, a new issue we opened up.
It's true.
Plus, we still have alter ego. We don't want to give into the despair just yet. She's right, we have to plan ahead, think about the future.
You got it.
Yep. Think happy thoughts, no deathly thoughts.
You know?
Like when we're gonna get out of here, right?
For serious.
This is all over. I think I want to get reborn for some serious. I mean, reborn as someone serious.
Well.
That sounds like something someone who's about to die would say. I'm totally okay. I'm not gonna die because there's not going to be any more murders.
According to the spirits,
Since it revealed itself to me from the Ether, there's no doubt about it.
However,
How it critters your fortune telling anyway.
how about that?
I can usually hit 20 or 30% on a good day. That seems really low.
It's not like
But
some
yeah,
occult mystery.
It's not like it's ESP or whatever, because I'm not only gonna get it right sometimes.
The occult is bullcrap.
Okay.
So,
Isn't a cult?
You got it
Of
all
course not.
wrong.
Don't put it in the same category as
Huh?
cattle. What?
So,
Actually,
Now you're calling it. Now you're calling. No, you're calling it an urban legend.
But the end is nigh.
Yeah.
Some crazy beam came out of nowhere and locked onto my hamburger.
Okay.
And as soon as the beam touched it, the bird and still floating there. The entire one part of it just vanished, while the rest fell back into my hand. Do you realize what that means? It means the burger wasn't 100% beef. It must have had some pork or something mixed in. Something like 70% pork. You can't trick me.
Yeah. It wasn't 100% beef. They totally mixed it in ground pork with it.
How about that?
That is cow mutilation.
Ah.
Don't be mean.
Ah.
I won't murder anyone.
Yeah.
Me either. I mean, I'd never.
of course.
Me either.
indeed.
Nor I. That goes to, of course, I'd never kill any of my friends. Spy Akiu, that was, and Genocide Jill.
Well.
Yeah.
But
To think about themselves. Yeah, better off without them, I say. We were united for the time being, but with that bond that hid weakness and fragility. Chapter 4. All-Star Apologies. well, that's the end of this video. A very long video, I'm guessing. So yeah, bye.